Hello one and hello all, and today we're doing that Flat Earth Debunked video. Now I was originally going to go to the Flat Earth Society Facebook page and check it out, but in order to do that I have to join the Society Facebook page group, and I'm not up to that, so we're doing Eric Dubay's 200 Proofs. The Earth is Not a Spinning Ball by Eric Dubay video book.
200 Proofs Earth is Not a Spinning Ball by Eric Dubay. 1. The horizon always appears perfectly flat 360 degrees around the observer regardless of altitude. All amateur balloon, rocket, plane, and drone footage show completely flat horizon over 20 plus miles high. Only NASA and other government space agencies show curvature in their fake CGI photos and videos. 2. The horizon...
Okay, I'm gonna do, I guess, 10 proofs, because why not? I can't sit through all 200 of these fucking things. It's a 2-hour video. So, debunked. It's always like that because perspective. You can't see enough of the Earth from where you're at. You have to go extremely high into the air to see curvature. For example, go on an airplane, look out the window, hope there's no clouds. You'll see very slight curvature from that point.
The horizon always rises to the eye level of the observer as altitude is gained, so you never have to look down to see it. If Earth were in fact a globe, no matter how large, as you ascended, the horizon would stay fixed and the observer would have to tilt looking down further and further to see it.
And it does that if you get high enough, but anything past the point where you would need to see it is all fake. See how dumb this is?
3. The natural physics of water is to find and maintain its level. If Earth were a giant sphere, tilted, wobbling, and hurtling through infinite space, then truly flat, consistently level surfaces would not exist here. But since Earth is in fact an extended flat plane, this fundamental physical property of fluids finding and remaining level is consistent with experience and common sense.
Okay, so water always finds its level. That's a classic one, but what does it mean? What does finding its level mean? It looks flat? Of course it's gonna look flat. From a small distance, it looks flat. I've seen people say stuff like, if you take a tub, it's gonna be flat, or a lake is going to be flat. That's because it's not taking up a big enough section of the Earth for there to be a curve, without there being a disturbance, of course. Large enough, you will eventually see curvature. It's just it's fake.
4. Rivers run down to sea level, finding the easiest course, north, south, east, west, and all other intermediary directions over the Earth at the same time. If Earth were truly a spinning ball, then many of these rivers would be impossibly flowing uphill. For example, the Mississippi, in its 3,000 miles, would have to ascend 11 miles before reaching the Gulf of Mexico. 5.
I present with you the St. John's River, a upwards flowing river. Yeah, that's it. That's all I need to say.
One portion of the Nile River flows for 1,000 miles with a fall of only 1 foot. Parts of the West African Congo, according to the supposed inclination and movement of the ball Earth, would be sometimes running uphill and sometimes down. This would also be the case for the Parana, Paraguay, and other long rivers. 6.
Wait, that was a proof? That just felt like an extension of the previous one. Whatever.
If Earth were a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, as NASA and modern astronomy claim, spherical trigonometry dictates the surface of all standing water must curve downward an easily measurable 8 inches per mile, multiplied by the square of the distance. This means, along a 6-mile channel of standing water, the Earth would dip 6 feet on either end from the central peak. Every time such experiments have been conducted, however, standing water has proven to be perfectly level. 7.
The 8 inches per mile squared. Oh boy. 8 inches per mile squared is an estimation of curvature over short distances. It doesn't work for hundreds of, or even dozens, or even tens of miles. I can't remember what the actual equation is. It's a ton of letters, as per usual. Freaking hate algebra. but there's an actual equation that is not 8 inches per mile squared. There.
Surveyors, engineers, and architects are never required to factor the supposed curvature of the Earth into their projects. Canals, railways, bridges, and tunnels, for example, are always cut and laid horizontally, often over hundreds of miles without any allowance for curvature. 8. The Suez Canal connects.
To this I say, it's curving with your dingus. It's slowly curving, but it's so slight that it just feels like it's constantly flatness. Okay, what's 8?
Connecting the Mediterranean with the Red Sea is 100 miles long without any locks, making the water an uninterrupted continuation of the two seas. When constructed, the Earth's supposed curvature was not taken into account. It was dug along a horizontal datum line, 26 feet below sea level, passing through several lakes from one sea to the other, with the datum line and the water's surface running perfectly parallel over the 100 miles. 9.
Again, that just felt like an extension of the previous proof, so I'm not responding to it, because why would I?
Engineer W. Winkler was published in the Earth Review regarding the Earth's supposed curvature, stating, "As an engineer of many years standing, I saw that this absurd allowance is only permitted in school books. No engineer would dream of allowing anything of the kind. I've projected many miles of railways and many more of canals, and the allowance has not even been thought of, much less allowed for. This allowance for curvature means this, that it is 8 inches for the first mile of a canal and increasing at the ratio by the square of the distance in miles, thus a small navigable canal for boats, say 30 miles long, will have, by the above rule, an allowance for curvature of 600 feet. Think of that, and then please credit engineers as not being quite such fools. Nothing of the sort is allowed. We no more think of allowing 600 feet for a line of 30 miles of railway or canal than of wasting our time trying to square the circle." 10.
That was just a combination of previous proofs I've already debunked. It's getting lazy. Again, 8 inches per mile squared is not accurate. And again, they wouldn't have to take into account the curvature because it's over a short distance of land curving, you know. I always said this stuff. I could probably have said it better, but you get the idea.
The London and Northwestern Railway forms a straight line 180 miles long between London and Liverpool. The railroad's highest point midway at Birmingham Station is only 240 feet above sea level. If the world were actually a globe, however, curving 8 inches per mile squared, the 180-mile stretch of rail would form an arc with the center point at Birmingham raised over a mile, a full 5,400 feet above London and Liverpool. 11.
Again, 8 inches per mile squared doesn't work that way. Like half these proofs is just that 8 inches per mile squared disproves this one landmass, therefore flat Earth. Oh my god. Okay. I guess I'll keep going. We're only 5 minutes into this thing. Oh my god. This is gonna be a series.
A surveyor and engineer of 30 years published in the Birmingham Weekly
I'll go to 15.
Mercury stated, "I am thoroughly acquainted with the theory and practice of civil engineering. However bigoted some of our professors may be in the theory of surveying, according to the prescribed rules, yet it is well known amongst us that such theoretical measurements are incapable of any practical illustration. All our locomotives are designed to run on what may be regarded as true levels or flats. There are, of course, partial inclines or gradients here and there, but they are always accurately defined and must be carefully traversed. But anything approaching to 8 inches in the mile, increasing as the square of the distance, could not be worked by any engine that was ever yet constructed. Taking one station with another, all over England and Scotland, it may be stated that all the platforms are on the same relative level. The distance between eastern and western coasts of England may be set down as 300 miles. If the prescribed curvature was indeed as represented, the central stations at Rugby or Warwick ought to be close upon 3 miles higher than a cord drawn from the two extremities. If such was the case, there is not a driver or stoker within the kingdom that would be found to take charge of the train. We can only laugh at those of your readers who seriously give us credit for such venturesome exploits as running trains round spherical curves. Horizontal curves on levels are dangerous enough. Vertical curves would be 1,000 times worse, and with our rolling stock constructed as at present, physically impossible. 12.
Okay, so that was a quote combined with 8 inches per mile squared, combined with inaccurate measurements, which, like, seriously? Oh my god, Eric, what are you doing? You bring insult to the name, Eric.
The Manchester Ship Canal Company, published in the Earth Review, stated, "It is customary in railway and canal constructions for all levels to be referred to a datum which is nominally horizontal and is so shown on all sections. It is not the practice in laying out public works to make allowances for the curvature of the Earth." 13. In a night.
Okay, oh my god. Quote, inaccurate measurements. Are we gonna keep going?
18th century French experiment by MMBO and Arago, a powerful lamp with good reflectors was placed on the summit of Desierto Las Palmas in Spain and able to be seen all the way from Campri on the island of Ibiza. Since the elevation of the 2 points were identical and the distance between covered nearly 100 miles, if the Earth were a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, the light should have been more than 6,600 feet, a mile and a quarter, below the line of sight.
8 inches per mile squared. Shut up.
14. The Lieutenant Colonel Portlock experiment used oxyhydrogen Drummond's lights and heliostats to reflect the sun's rays across stations set up across 108 miles of St. George's Channel. If the Earth were actually a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, Portlock's light should have remained hidden under a mile and a half of curvature.
Let me guess, 8 inches per mile squared debunks that, because you put no mathematical, like, anything in there, you just said, oh yeah, it'd be impossible.
15. If the Earth were truly a sphere 25,000 miles in circumference, airplane pilots would have to constantly correct their altitudes downwards so as to not fly straight off into outer space. A pilot wishing to simply maintain their altitude at a typical cruising speed of 500 miles per hour would have to constantly dip their nose downwards and descend 2,777 feet, over half a mile, every minute. Otherwise, without compensation, in 1 hour's time, the pilot would find themselves 31.5 miles higher than expected. 16. The experiment...
I've said it once, I've said it again off camera, and I'll say it a third time. It's curving with the earth, you dingus. Except this time, let's slightly change it. It's curving with the earth, you ignoramus. That's better. But yeah, okay, screw it. I am going to get... Okay. I got the globe. So, this is not to scale, obviously. Here's the plane, here's the globe. When it goes, it curves. There, happy? These are all simplified debunks, by the way. I'm not going in depth on this. So yeah, there you go. That's the first 15 of the 200 proofs that the Earth is not a spinning ball by Eric Dubay video book. We're 8 minutes in. We got an hour and 50 minutes to go. So if you've enjoyed this video, you can leave a like or subscribe if you feel like it, or leave a comment down below if you have anything to say about it. Until next time, I'll see you later, everybody. Bye bye.